Hi, I'm Jonas. I'm from Belgium. I work at CrazyGames as VP Product. On the end user side, the biggest segment we have are older kids, so 13 to 20 is our largest segment, but we also have older people playing. Some segments play more on mobile, some less. And so depending on their interests and their age and whether they log in or not, it's of course a different challenge to engage with them and to notify them and to make sure they're aware of everything we're doing, and we want them to know. We also now have a whole friends system in place where people can send each other friends invitations, so people will get an email there. And users that have been inactive for 2 weeks on the site will now also get an email to pull them back on the one hand and to ask why they left on the other hand. So we use it both as a re-engagement as well as a back channel, basically. The main issues with the systems we had in place before we started working with SuprSend was that everything was done in the code. And if you want it a bit different, then you need half a week of development, so to speak. So it led to the fact that the things were there, like some things were there, but they didn't change. It was always a hassle to do something, so long lead times, lots of overhead, basically ugly template, because engineers, they don't care so much usually about the look and feel. So we go live with something that isn't great, and then 2 years later, it's still there. I think it's two areas specifically. One is the database connection. So we could easily hook up our database onto SuprSend, which allows us to much easier make changes, add new custom content or dynamic content, set up flows, which are all things that the main competitors that we've looked at don't have, because you have to push all your data one-to-one to it. So it means I want to make a change. I first need to ask engineering to do something. I have to wait 2 weeks. Then I can start looking into this in the tool, and hopefully they did the right thing. Otherwise, I have to start over. So that's much less the case now. So we have unlocked a lot of things through this database connection. And secondly, the template section is clearly like omni-channel. You have the same template, and you choose which templates you want to make. It's clearly all connected and works seamlessly, rather than needing to have to code these things in the workflows. So that's a big benefit as well, I think. What we are doing for reactivation is the following. So we have a list with churned users, where basically this is powered by a underlying data set that our data team prepares. So it's a simple table that has users and recommendations and some extra information. So this had to be set up initially, but it's just an SQL query basically on the data side in our team. We add some selectors to it that our team can change. So we currently say the user needs to have a minimum play time of 60 minutes in the last 90 days, but we can easily change that according to what we want and decide when it will be sent. So currently we say, okay, if the user hasn't been visiting us for 15 days, then we trigger this. Users are added to the list, to the linked list, and we're adding game recommendations to their profile. So a user that is being added here, which I'll show. So this one has been added this morning. And they would also get game recommendations for 3 lanes in their profile: most played, the most popular games, and most popular and recent games. So it's 3 lanes. Additionally, we add a random group here. This is what we're doing for A/B testing, which wasn't fully supported by the SuprSend platform out of the box, but we figured out we could A/B test by doing this. So that list triggers a workflow that you see here. In the workflow, we split the group in 4. So we split all the users that get in there in 4 based on their random group that I just explained. We send them either nothing, or a CEO mail, or a survey with recommendations, or only recommendations. And then basically we have 3 templates I'll show you this one. That's the most complicated one. So it has basically a link to a type form, and then one of the lanes with 3 recommendations in the template. And you'll see it here. It's a bit of a HTML block, but it's also not highly complicated. We did need some help from the SuprSend team to get this all set up, but once it's there, it's working fine, and we can also easily change it. During implementation, I don't remember anything shocking or questions from the engineering team that they were confused or that something wasn't clear. So it all went pretty smoothly. The SuprSend team did even put a connector that wasn't there yet, prioritized it on their roadmap so that we could also use the database connection feature. and along the journey, we got great support there. So I have a good memory about all that. The user engagement is doing really well, and like the outbound communication is definitely part of that. That we became better at communicating and give users a bit of an incentive to come back more often, which we just didn't do before. In terms of the B2B side, we are organizing now regularly game jams, which is a sort of anybody can work on a game for a weekend and gets things out. So that's something the B2B colleague is focusing on and using SuprSend also to communicate. And we've got like thousands of game submissions via that flow. So it's growing really quickly in terms of reach. What also wouldn't have been possible before, like since it's running this on our own.